Yo, peace and blessings to everybody. Hope everybody is having a good Sunday. Hope everybody enjoyed their Sabbath day if they keep it. Got good rest, got to spend time with family and friends. Now, to be honest, I didn't even know how to start this video off for a long time because I took a break too long away from the word and doing sermons and making videos and things like that. From my recent post I had posted, I said I was going to do that to get closer to God, but to be honest, it was making me stray further away from God, trying to get into the spirit on my own and continue to isolate myself even further away from social media, away from all people and things like that. Now, isolation and secluding yourself away from temptation and things does help, but if you do it too long, you start to seek your own knowledge and wisdom. And I can truly feel that because I started also to become miserable, not living my own life, knowing that I only get one life, trying to be so perfect for God when I know that I'm imperfect. When you try to be too perfect, this is when you start to think, you start to build an ego for yourself. You start to think that you are better than everybody else. You start to think that you have to be qualified to preach the word. Now listen, this is the thing about God though. God never calls the qualified, but he qualifies the called. If you are being called on and you think like all the bad things I did in life, I don't deserve God, you are super wrong. Because first of all, I felt that way also. Even with all the videos and stuff I do, it's hard to even live a life behind closed doors trying to keep on a task of discipline and knowledge and actually doing the thing that God tells us to do. It's hard to actually listen to his commandments and fight your flesh 24/7. And what I can say is that I started to run away. I started to try to run away from sin by staying away from it instead of challenging it and embracing it. You have to embrace the challenge. You can't run away from sin. Sin is going to be in your life from a baby to your deathbed, unfortunately. And that's just the way of life is, because the devil doesn't care how old you are. Temptation never stops. Sin never stops. Your flesh is never going to stop. You have to build yourself into a stronger person to be qualified for this calling. Anybody can preach his word, but the people that does preach his word and not actually do what he's telling us to say, or to not actually do what he's telling us to say, actually do what he's telling us to do. Apologies. Those are the people that is going to get rejected. Those are the fakers. Those are the haters. Those are the religious people. Those are the people that want to be doing things for clout. No, this is not about none of that. Man, when I get behind this camera, I want to make sure that I'm telling people the truth. I want to make sure that I don't have any mistakes. But I have to understand that I'm born as a human. I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to sin. I'm going to do things wrong, even if it's knowingly or unknowingly. The thing is, I didn't want to look like a fraud to people. I don't want to do anything of that nature. I want to actually learn how to live how Jesus walked. I want to learn how all these prophets were able to listen to God so clearly, even though they did the wrong things, even though they weren't perfect and things like that, even though they were still making mistakes. I want to learn how to actually truly understand God from what he tells us, and I want to learn how to actually minister on to people, not for, to get into heaven or anything like that, because our work iniquity doesn't please God. Only our faith does, and the way we treat others. Remember, we don't do good to get into heaven. We do good because we are supposed to. This is what we are born for. We were born to love others, love our neighbor, love ourselves, respect others, and not do anything that is of evil nature. But at the end of the day, let's not run from sin. Don't do what I did. Don't ignore God's cause. He gave me many signs. My own little sister had to tell me that, where I told you that God doesn't call called to qualify. He qualifies the call. And it's true, because as much as I wanted to be perfect, just like Jesus, I got to understand, yeah, that's what I'm striving for, but I'm imperfect. So I have to learn how to balance myself, because I can't run away from my flesh. I don't have the divine intervention to do what Jesus did, but I have to still try, because this is what I was born to do. This is my purpose. At the end of the day, it's all about good and evil. It's a spiritual warfare. Don't give up on anything. Keep going. Don't do anything for nothing temporary. Do it for eternal life. Peace and blessings.